there, welcome to Island Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Cancer energy. And we'll see how different people in the world are harnessing their Cancer energy. This might be something that particularly people who are Cancer sun sign or have significant Cancer placements might be dealing with, but we all tap into Cancer energy. And like every other zodiac sign, we have we've either kind of grown and matured in that area or we haven't. And, we can be in relationships with people, and you could harness high vibe Cancer energy, which is being just and fair and authentic and loving and treating other people the way you like to be treated. And some other people might present themselves as loving, but maybe they're kind of immature or superficial or shallow or something, or manipulative, just haven't used their emotions in a more manipulative way. So, I view this as the overarching reason, which is the Hierophant, which can talk about that you really do walk the talk. You are who you say you are. Other people like to present themselves as being someone who walks the talk, but still got some lessons to learn. And at the heart of the reading is the Three of Pentacles, which can also kind of talk about the foundation that you operate from, what your truth is, and being more free from your shadowy nature. And some people are still operating more from their worldly perspective of life, and it can still be a little bit more about working together with people kind of for how it benefits them, but maybe not really acting like love, but not really being authentically loving and motivated by love. And at the end of the story, we have the Page of Swords, which can be all three of the air sign energies of Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Gemini is our dualistic nature of free will. And again, some people are aligned with hope and faith and belief and love, that it is in Libra to be just and fair, and Aquarius energy, that is my dream, and that is how I view life. And other people could think it's more just and fair in their free will to be a little bit more still caught up in the world or about themselves. So let's start out. What's going on in Cancer energy? We have the Hangman, we have the Tower, we have the Four of Cups. So the Hangman can be that there could be something in our life that was making us feel stuck, but because high vibe people know the truth is to offer love to the situation, they offer love to themselves and the situation in the Tower card, to their own fears, their own insecurities, their own self-limiting beliefs, their past pain and heartbreak to other people in their life. And they're able to get to the other side of the situation in the Four of Cups of Cancer energy, of seeing the truth that, we can offer love to people, but some people reject our cup of love. And that some things are a missed emotional opportunity is what the Four of Cups and Cancer energy can be. Some people are operating in you can't really see it in this card because it's got a lot of blurriness, but the Three Cups plus the One Cup, the high vibe people have taken that cup of love to not let things that kept them stuck and things that could have been shadowy, unjust, unfair, hurtful, unkind, bossy, controlling, whatever they were, to not let those things keep you stuck and maybe in your ego, because the Tower and shadow could just represent the shadow nature. I'm not going to stay in shadowy energy. I'm going to take that cup of love that the divine offers all of us to take, so that we can offer love to the situation. And the Tower is about trying to get us to see the truth. And shadowy Four of Cups and shadowy Cancer can be that there can be people who aren't ready to take that cup of higher love, like to use their emotions more manipulatively in a relationship. And so we see the truth of it. I accept that some people aren't ready to do love yet. And I accept the fact that Some people, again, shadowy hangman can be that they're operating more from ego. They do not want, the tower is like, I reject, I do not want to take that cup of higher love. I would rather operate from my more worldly, egoic nature. That is my truth. And we accept the truth of that. And then we have the High Priestess, which is connecting in with Pisces and Cancer energy, two emotional water signs of staying connected with your emotions and your intuition and the energy of love to be able to offer love. She looks like she's. Oh, what does she have there? I cannot tell what that is. I can't tell if it's like a heart or if it's a piece of fruit or what, but it's listening to your intuition about people in your life who you know might be a little more stubborn, a little more caught up in themselves, a little more caught up in the world, maybe a little immature in their thinking, logic, and reasoning, not quite aligned with love yet, and accepting the fact that they may never. And so then in your Capricorn energy of the Three of Pentacles, which Cancer and Capricorn are on opposite sides of the zodiac wheel, so it is about getting balance between the two. And then we have the Two of Wands, which we can be inspired by love, but in our Capricorn energy of being balanced within ourselves. Again, love is to be just and fair and balanced. Some of you could have been very loving people and you could have thought everybody's motivated and inspired by love. And you hadn't kind of accepted that truth yet because the tower is trying to get you to see the truth that not everybody is motivated and inspired by love. You know, there's some people, I don't want to do a deep, meaningful relationship. I could get hurt. I don't want to do love. I could get hurt. You know, and those people could choose to hide, is what the High Priestess can talk about in shadow, that the foundation they operate from in shadowy Two of Wands, which can be more about being about themselves. I have decided to make my life more about me and the world, and I don't want to do love because I get hurt doing that. And it's kind of realizing that truth, and that could have been a hard truth for you to accept because if you're someone motivated and inspired by love, in your Gemini nature of free will, it's kind of hard to accept that other people, even if they are in just, fair, balanced, loving relationships, where it's like we could work together and we could have a dream come into reality. You know, if we work together with people cooperatively and if we got out of our fears and our insecurities and our defensiveness to love, but we have to realize the hangman can talk about these things that keep us stuck. And unless we're willing to deal with the truth of it, because the truth sets us free. And some people, the truth is that they would have to take that cup of love. And some people, that is the danger zone. I'm not willing to do that. I could get hurt. So we have to accept the truth of it. We listen to our intuition. We put in work and effort to free ourselves from people in our life who we feel don't want to obviously do love or be more just and fair or maybe act with character and integrity, can be the Hierophant. Because we do have a dream in High Vibe Two of Wands, and a dream is to be in friendship, relationship, and workplaces. The Hierophant can represent all those different institutions of the world. I want to work together with people who have freed themselves from their more defensive nature, worldly nature, egoic nature, being more about themselves nature, who are willing to operate from a foundation of love. And then we have the Judgment card, the Sun, and the Strength card. Two cards of Leo, and then the Judgment card is kind of getting you out of fixed sign energy. When we get involved in situations, I think that we kind of tap into our fixed sign energies to put in work and effort into something, and it can be really hard to get out of our fixed sign energy because we can have love for people and we would like it to work out the way we want. But if things aren't changing and things are like getting worse and people are being more unjust, more unfair, more unloving, not working with us cooperatively, operating more from pride and ego, seem to be more about themselves. And shadowy Leo can be where we feel like people are trying to manipulate us, control us, get us, keep us stuck, keep us in our ego, keep us in our fear. Well, that's not love. And so we call judgment on them because we're ready to have this new beginning, harnessing high vibe Leo energy. I want to be in relationships with people who have tempered their more beastly nature, prideful nature, stubborn nature, manipulative nature, immature nature. And if I have seen the truth that this isn't your truth, you are not willing to temper your more worldly egoic nature or defensive nature or being more about yourself or being more manipulative or being more immature. I wish you peace. I hope that works out for you. But I am not staying here because this is not love. And I'm going to do the work to believe in myself, to free myself from workplaces, friendships, and relationships where I think people are not holding themselves accountable for their actions and acting with truth and love and character and integrity. And I am willing to go have this new beginning. I'm going to temper my own fears and my own insecurities. And then I also view Leo energy as kind of giving yourself the things that you wish other people would have given you. So you are offering love to your own hopeful, believing nature because in your Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini energy, you have a dream of being in relationships where people are just and fair, and love is to be just and fair, and you're supposed to treat other people the way you like to be treated. And apparently, that is not some people's truth. So, you are going to have this new beginning. Some of you are in the midst of this new beginning, working with people and investing more of your time and energy and effort into people who you think and feel are more just and fair and authentic and loving and encouraging, who do kind of have that hopeful, believing spirit instead of operating more from their defensive, egoic nature. So, what is coming up for people who harness some high vibe Cancer energy that they might not see coming up? The Two of Cups and the Six of Cups, and the reason is because of the Queen of Pentacles. Because in the Queen of Pentacles, I also view that as Taurus energy, like the Hierophant. You know, all we can do is offer when a person is holding the one pentacle in high vibe, it means the truth, because love is the truth, and love is to be just and fair. You know, so you offered truth and love to the situation. The Two of Cups is Cancer energy. The Six of Cups is Scorpio, the other water sign energy. You were offering truth and love to work together with people in your life, to work with them. And the Six of Cups can talk about in an emotionally balanced way, in love, in a deep, meaningful relationship. Because you offered truth and love to the situation, it helped you. The Six of Cups can talk about reconciling yourself with the past. We could all have had situations in our life growing up where we've dealt with people. The Hangman can talk about, again, people who are kind of stubborn, unwilling to look at life from any other perspective, unwilling to try to see things from other people's perspectives, don't want to take accountability for their actions, are more about themselves, are kind of stubborn or manipulative. But you offered love to all of it, and that helped you come to a place of peace about it. I accept the truth because the truth sets you free. I accept that everybody is where they're at. I accept that some people are more stuck and prideful, or haven't learned to love themselves, aren't willing to listen to their intuition, which our intuition was given to us as a gift to help us navigate in this world. Some other people aren't willing to speak their truth and stand up for themselves against their own shadow nature, other people in their world who might not like them to be more independent, because high vibe energy is being more independent, respecting other people as their own independent individual. We're not children anymore. But we can always have where the world tries to manipulate us, or other people in our life want to kind of manipulate and control us. And high vibe energy is I want to live my authentic life and be respected as my own individual, and not make my life where I have to, out of maybe fear that other people won't love me, if I'm offering other people truth and love and they're not working together with me in truth and love, well, I don't know that I want to try to keep trying to get you to like me or love me. Why would I keep doing that? I might keep doing that if I was more codependent, is what the pages can talk about, on other people, to, still looking to those people or the world and how you define yourself and your worth and value. Um, you know, just more codependent on the world, your defensive nature, other people in your life, and other people are more independent, not letting the world define their worth and value, not seeing the truth when other people are being hurtful or unkind or manipulative or controlling. I'm an adult. you know, I have my own dreams and my own aspirations, and but some people can have people in their life that, if they live their life in a more shadowy way and they make their life more about not taking that cup of love, making their life more about conforming to the world, they cannot like it if other people kind of see through the illusion of the things that manipulate them and want to become independent of it. And then they can do like hurtful and unkind things, or we will not like you anymore if you don't live your life like this. And you might know some people that have a lot of things that manipulate them, or people in their life that manipulate them. It's like, I wish you peace until you become a more independent person and are willing to feel more stable and grounded within yourself and stand up for your truth. Then I hope you enjoy your life letting those people or whatever it is manipulate you. But those things don't manipulate me the way it manipulates you. But I do see the truth that those things manipulate you. And I can't live my life like that, because I don't think that is a stable foundation. It's not where people are working together with you in truth and love and respecting everybody as being their own individual. And again, high vibe people aren't trying to hurt anyone. I want to be, just live my more authentic life. You go do the things that you like to go do. I'll go do the things I like to go do. I will invest my time and energy into the friendships and relationships with people I enjoy. You invest yours in yours, and quit trying to manipulate or control me and use maybe the love that I have for you to try to manipulate me. That's not love. But shadowy energy can be where people don't want to see the truth. So you could know some people that you could feel are being manipulated by their own fear, their own defensiveness, their own prideful nature, worldly nature. The world manipulates them, and other people in their life could manipulate them. But they might not want to see the truth of it. And if they're kind of shadowy, they don't want to see the truth that they're kind of shadowy. In free will, it's like a way of viewing life from the hangman. And they view life from their viewpoint of life, and they could not understand your viewpoint in life. If they are much more about, well, you should make your life about these things of the world, and this looks victorious and successful. What else is there? I don't understand why you're not staying at this job, this friendship, or this relationship. Because that's how they view life. And of course, it could seem victorious and successful to them. And if it has these certain traits, qualities, and aspects to it, you should be happy. It's like, but that's not my truth. I'm not more about those things. As a human being, yes, I want stability and security in my life, but I want a balance. That's high vibe energy. Yes, I want these things in the world, but I'm not willing to sacrifice truth or love or justice or fairness or my truth to stay in jobs, friendships, and relationships just because it has more of these things of the world that I do want. But they would stay in them for more of those things of the world that they want. They have sacrificed their truth to align with their more worldly, egoic view of life. And it's like, I'm not willing to sacrifice that. I do want to invest in loving relationships with people where it's emotionally balanced and inspired by truth and love. And some other people are like, you should get in a relationship and stay in a relationship or stay in a job if it has the status and the ego and the image. That's the most important thing. It's like we view life differently. You can go live your life like that. That's not my truth. And I am not willing, in our free will, when we make decisions, we have to sacrifice something for something else. I'm not willing to sacrifice my truth. And being in a more emotionally mature, loving, just, fair, balanced relationships for those things of the world. And some people think you should, because that is their philosophy of life. And that is how they view life. And that's how they want other people to view life, so they will stay in a relationship with them. And some of those people, they can be kind of immature, where they kind of indulge their more immature nature and way of thinking and logic and reasoning. And they think it's just and fair, even if they're stubborn or hurtful or unkind or unjust or unfair or bossy or controlling or manipulative. They have decided somewhere in their head, I think that's just and fair. And they think you should think it's just and fair too. And you're like, no, I don't. And that can be a shock to them. If it had a lot of these things of the world that people would want, they can't believe that out of love for yourself and your own hopeful, believing inner child nature, kind of love for yourself, that you're not willing to compromise those things to have those things of the world, because they make those things of the world extremely important. And you're more invested in emotionally balanced, loving relationship as the driving factor of why I want to be in a friendship, why I want to be in a job. It has to be a job I like going to and people I enjoy working with, where other people could stay in a job and a relationship, not even like those people, chaos going all around, but unwilling to let go of it because, and everybody has to make their own decisions. If you don't feel. But I kind of think that when you listen to your intuition, you do have to feel stable and grounded within yourself. But I think we have this free will. And when we are in a situation where people are kind of creating a little hell on earth, that's like God in the judgment card trying to tell you, we're creating a little heaven on earth. Are you going to keep staying here? Or are you going to do this work to love and believe in yourself and listen to your intuition that everyone has free will of how they choose to act or behave? And if people are acting shadowy, call judgment on them, believe in yourself, go look for like a new job, a new friendship, a new relationship, and get out of this situation. You can manifest a little hell on life in your life by the thoughts you choose to sit in, the emotions you choose to sit in, how you speak to yourself, how you treat yourself, and then you got all the people in the world that you're hanging out with and how they might treat you and how they might act. It does start within yourself. Learning to heal and grow, mature yourself, love yourself, to align with your more hopeful, believing, loving nature within yourself so you emotionally grow up and mature yourself, free yourself from past pain and heartbreak so that you can be in more loving relationships. And but you'd have to be willing to see the truth first of things, that to want to deal with the truth of some situations, such as past pain and heartbreak. And some people don't want to do that. It does take work and effort to work through those things. And some people are like, no, I can just ignore it. I'm just going to keep moving on. But they don't realize, if they haven't really kind of dealt with the truth of some situations, those things are going to keep manipulating them. If they haven't worked through past pain and heartbreak, that past pain and heartbreak is going to influence the decisions they make in their life. If they haven't learned to love themselves, they're going to get in relationships and they're kind of in their ego that maybe other people have learned to love themselves, and then they can feel not good enough, then they can try to manipulate or control people. They're not ready to really go move forward in life in the way they're presenting themselves, that like trying to present themselves as being at a certain emotional maturity level that they're not at. And eventually other people kind of realize it too. I think you have some past pain and heartbreak, or you're kind of stubborn, or you're kind of prideful, or you're kind of manipulative, and until they're willing to deal with those issues and see the truth of it and how they could benefit from working through why they're like that, they're probably going to keep acting like that. Or if they let their past pain and heartbreak or whatever manipulate them, it's going to keep manipulating them. What's coming up for some people who harness some more worldly, shadowy Cancer energy that they might not see coming? And for some people, they are more motivated by the world and things of the world, and they maybe like to be in relationships with other people who are more about the world, but maybe some of the people they would like to be in a relationship with that could be more on that same page as them, maybe those kind of people aren't around, but they could want to be in a relationship. So then they kind of get themselves in a more mismatched relationship where they harness their Cancer and their Leo energy differently. One is kind of more about a little more defensive and a little bit more about the world. The other one is a little bit more about being more authentic and loving, and that as a driving factor in their life. And it's kind of a mismatched truth, and it's hard to move something forward. A house divided can't stand. And it's like people being in a relationship, and one person's truth is this, the other person's truth is that. And we have lessons to learn about that. That, if I know my truth is this, that's fine. Go live your life the way you want to live it. Quit getting in relationships with people who that's not your truth. Go find people who are more on the same page as you. In both directions, right? What's coming up for people who harness some more worldly Cancer energy that they might not see coming? The Nine of Pentacles. Why? Because of the Knight of Cups. Well, in shadow, the Knight of Cups can be that people kind of have illusions about what it means to be in relationships. And they could just want to be in relationships because they don't maybe like being single. Or they could think, because the Nine of Cups can be that someone can appear very stable and abundant, like they have a certain status or image in the world, and of course that people should want to be in a relationship with them, and that can be people who kind of operate from their ego, a little full of themselves. And then they could think, well, because I have this certain status, image, social clout, money, or whatever, they kind of have this illusion that other people should want to get in a relationship and stay in a relationship, regardless of if they kind of have these immature or shadowy or stubborn or manipulative or prideful or unloving ways of being. They've got a lot of growing up to do. Some of them a lot. In tarot, we have the pages, then we have the knights, then we have the kings and queens, then we have the emperor and empress, and then we have the high priestess and the hierophant. It's learning all these lessons at these different stages of life where and at the highest level, we have people who are really connected in with their intuition, have really learned some of these lessons in life, who have freed themselves from things that manipulate them, who have learned that if I take action more out of pride or ego or fear or insecurity or codependency, it's going to sabotage a relationship. And I've learned to listen to my own intuition. I've learned to love myself and temper my ego and be someone who is who I say I am and walk that talk. And those kind of people are looking for people who are on that same page as them. And some people get in very mismatched relationships. And some people could be good at wearing a false mask where they seem, again, like they're much more mature and stable and grounded and authentic and loving than they really are. But it's just an illusion they create because they want to be people to hire them or go into business with them or be their friend or date them or marry them. But it isn't, they really haven't learned those lessons yet. It's like somebody applying for a job, but they really don't have the work experience or the qualifications and experience to function at that level. But they can try to get in relationships with people who function at that higher level. And eventually the other people, initially they can buy in. The hangman, like the Knight of Cups, is Pisces energy, which can be, and shadowy Leo can be, which anyone can do this, is kind of operating from your ego and creating this illusion about who you are. And other people can buy into the illusion. They start to work with people thinking a dream is going to come into reality, but those people really are tempered in their ego. They are loving and encouraging and putting in work and effort and walking the talk. And they're trying to move forward in this more deep, meaningful, emotionally balanced, just and fair relationship. And it kind of keeps not happening because the other people really don't know how to fake that next level. I can do this. Can we stay here and do this? Let's decide and make the judgment that we're just going to keep doing this like forever. And the other people are like, well, I thought we were going to move forward and kind of bring this dream into reality. No, we have to do it like this. And that's when other people start to see that I don't think my dream is going to come into reality here. I think it was more about getting in the relationship, getting the job, but I don't think you're really inspired within yourself to move this forward where it is what I thought it was going to be. And the shadowy people were hoping that if they got someone in a relationship, because of their own ego and want for this to work, that they wouldn't ever become independent of them. But shadowy people are always going to have people in their life who harness this energy in a more high vibrational way that are going to become independent of them. We can all get caught up in the illusion of people, but when we see that it's never going to become a more deep, meaningful, authentic, more emotionally mature relationship, the high vibe people know their worth and value enough that they're not willing to sacrifice their dream to settle for the illusion. And that can be very disturbing for the people who keep thinking people will indulge them kind of in their shadowy behavior. And then when people aren't, they might be people again. They don't really know how to love themselves, don't know how to play that role in their own life. And so again, they can be more codependent, and it's to go get in a relationship or get a new job. But they never did the work within themselves to deal with the truth because they do not want to see the truth. Because that would mean they'd have to temper themselves and quit acting and behaving in certain ways or indulging themselves in some more immature ways. And they want to keep indulging themselves in some more immature ways. And there could be some people who like to be in a relationship, but they don't want, the King and Queen of Pentacles is the only married suit of the deck. They don't want to get in a more committed relationship. And some people could be getting out of relationships with people. It's like, we have gotten to know each other long enough. We've been in a relationship long enough. You either know that, this is aligned with your truth and love, and you view me as a just and fair person, or you still have some issues to work through about listening to your intuition or having hope and faith and belief in yourself or in others. And I don't want to, and it would have probably had all these other impacts on the relationship. And other people are like, I want a more formal commitment. And if you don't want a more formal commitment, that's fine. But you will go to be in a relationship with someone else. I don't want to kind of feel like maybe I'm in a relationship with someone who, I don't know if they're just kind of indulging in it or not. You know, if this is your truth, then let's be in a more formal commitment. And and I guess everybody's got their truth of their how they want to live their life. And you know, again, some people don't have hope and faith and belief in love, have a lot of distrust issues or something. It's like some people make peace with it, but it's like that is something I want, and I want, and maybe feeling like the other people, because of those issues, they're not more authentic, more warm, more loving, more encouraging. And I want to be in relationships with people who have worked through those issues, to be in that kind of relationship. And I'm willing to leave this to go live my life, enjoy my friends, my family, uh, whatever, and be available if I do meet someone who's more in that energy. I don't want to stay in a relationship more because of my ego, and I know that's the reason I'm staying in it, or out of my fear, or whatever. You know, I am willing to become independent of it out of love for myself. So I think if people are more shadowy or more manipulative or more prideful or getting in relationships with people for the wrong reasons, eventually the truth comes out and other people move on. And for some people, um, you know, it can go the other way where people are trying to kind of social climb. I want to get in a relationship that has more status, more image, more power. And now that I think I have maybe more status, more image, or the way I look, or something, that I could get out of one relationship that was more, you know, based maybe on truth and love, but this is what's more important to me. And they try to go get in a relationship to kind of social climb, and they might not find it's as easy as they think it is, or they might even find out that um, other people who are more about the ego or the image can be quite prideful and manipulative and more about themselves. And some of those people don't want to get in a more formal commitment, might like to indulge in it. And some people got out of a loving relationship more motivated by money and status and image, and that maybe didn't turn out the way they wanted. And some of it could be because of the people they got in relationships with. Some of those people might have status and image and money, but they're also aligned with truth and love, and their intuition told them these people were more about the status, the ego, the image, so they weren't willing to stay in a relationship with them. Or they met people who have the status and the ego and the image that they want, but those people are kind of like them and don't really do love. And then, am I willing to stay in a relationship? I thought I would. I didn't think love was that important. And then I got in a relationship with someone who's kind of like themselves, and that might make them see the truth about themselves for some of them. But if you know some people who are more manipulative, prideful, stubborn, materialistic, have, you know, they have some issues that really manipulate them that they don't want to see the truth of, odds are those people are going to have to go through several major disruptions in their life before they would look at life differently, if even ever. The more stubborn and prideful and egotistical and immature someone is, they're going to go through a lot of things in their life that are very trying to get them to see the truth. But the more prideful, the more immature, the more full of themselves people are, the less they are going to be willing to see the truth. They'll just get better at hiding the truth of who they are in the next friendship, the next relationship, the next job. And as you move forward in life, you could meet some of those people too, but now you've learned to listen to your intuition. You've learned these lessons about different people. You're willing to get to know people and work together with them, but you're going to walk your truth and walk your talk. And that alone kind of illuminates the truth of the kind of person that you are. There could be some shadowy people who would like to be in a relationship with you, but they know by the way you live your life that, shit, I don't think I can manipulate that person. That person I don't think is going to chase after me because of my status or my ego or my image or my attractiveness or my social clout. Damn. And also that, because you're tempering your ego, I am going to be less tempted by my worldly nature to get in a relationship with someone because I've learned these lessons in life. I am willing to get to know people and be in friendship and relationship with them. But until my intuition tells me that someone really does seem to be who they say they are, and they have shown that they are more tempered in their ego and more authentic and not wearing a false mask, until then, I'm not going to get in a more involved relationship with them. If, as time goes by, I see that they are who they say they are, then I would be willing to move forward in a relationship with them. And some of you, you could already be in a relationship, and some of these issues going on could be outside people in your life, friends or family or coworkers, and you and the people that you are in friendship or relationship with, friends or family or anybody, you're kind of all listening to your intuition about some people in your environment who are kind of shadowy. And, you can be loving and encouraging people to other people, but it doesn't bother you the way it used to. All you can do is offer people truth and love and in a kind of like a stable, grounded environment for them to do that work within themselves. And if they're not motivated within themselves to do that work within themselves, they're going to keep being the same kind of person they are. And as long as they're in your community, your environment, your workplace, you're going to walk your truth, they're going to do their truth, and it can cause disruption periodically, but you don't let the fact that other people let it get you up in your ego and destabilize you. I accept the truth of where you're at, how you view life, how you interact with people. And if I don't have to work with you, I'm not going to. And I'm going to work with the other people who it is easier to get along with and work with. And they're going to keep doing what they do. So high vibe people have been illuminated to the truth. They detach from people in their life who are unloving and unjust and unfair. They saw through the illusion of some people because at one time they could have really viewed them as being much more high vibrational. But as they worked with them and got to know them, some of the people in their life, they realized they weren't who they said they were. And they realized their dream wasn't going to come into reality with them. And they were willing to become independent of them. And they have done that, and they're having a new beginning. And some of the shadowy people are trying to create the illusion that's what they're doing in their life too. It's just that they're not taking action from love. It's creating the illusion of love or taking action more out of fear, insecurity, or pride, or ego, or codependency, or status, or ego, and image is a driving factor in their life. And eventually, the people in their life will have to decide if they're willing to kind of keep indulging them in that way, or if they're going to become independent of them. But as people are shadowy, over time there gets to be more and more people who grow up kind of and mature themselves, who don't want to keep indulging someone in more immature energy or stubborn or prideful or whatever. And they're going to have more of the high vibrational people move away from their life. And the people they end up more aligning with and surrounding themselves with are the people who still buy into the illusion of who they are, people who might not know the truth about them yet, or some people who could love them, could be in their family, who also kind of don't want to see the truth about some of these people, so they keep indulging them in their more egoic way of living life. There you go, Cancer. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.